to bring the team in. Mile high, we the ones you can't believe in. So bring it in. So bring it in. Yeah, we bring it in, bring it in. Never bring it in. Hey, see, winners win, losers lose, so it's on us. Gotta bring it in and bring it home. This a gold rush. We heard everything y'all said, now y'all froze up. That's why y'all tryna backpedal, cause we showed up. They say if you can't take the heat, get about the kitchen. I'm in here playing music while my shorty doing dishes. They can keep that big threes, we looking like a big 6, 7, 8, 9. We know that greatness take time. Every round, took them out quick. It was like date night. Really got them ballers. Ain't nobody here got stage fright. Big lights, no risk, no reward when it's game time. If we a mile high, that mean our whole city got hang time. Please, pick a side. Where you stand and make it clear now. And I got nuggets in my chain, wrist and ear now. See, I got Denver on my back. We switching gears now. All them seasons full of pain, but we here now. Bring it in. The whole city in this moment. We ain't gotta see the shot to know it goes in. It's time to bring the team in. Mile high, we the ones you can't believe in. So bring it in. So bring it in. Yeah, we bring it in, bring it in. Never bring it in.
It's time to bring it in. Stepping like we outside. Soon as I get in, busting from the outside, dying for the win. Living for the moment, so we running through your chin to make examples of opponents. They don't want it like we want it. So watch your medulla, it's bodies on bodies, it's Murray the shooter. They hope to adapt, but the Pope got the strap, it's a rapper intruders. MPJ with the 3AG with the fade away. Call a spade with the big joker, put the game away. Missed a couple chances, but followed the road back. Now we top of the mountain, refusing to go back. So we dunking on your center, or we finger roll that. Step back on your favorite player and tell them to hold that. When it come to this team, the defense, it gets mean. If we see you average 30, might let you get 15. They doubted us all year, we came in like, oh yeah. Started from the bottom, we tryna finish with big rings, mile high.
The whole city in this moment. We ain't gotta see the shot to know it goes in. It's time to bring the team in. Mile high, we the ones you can't believe in. So bring it in. So bring it in. Yeah, we bring it in, bring it in. Never bring it in.
Y'all bring it in. We're starting the show right now.
My day, the barber was a counselor, he was a fashion expert, he was a style coach, pimp, just general all-around hustler.
All the 66 years I lived, I said all them things a long time ago. But I say this here, I'm still pretty.
We doing a broadcast. Oh man, it's a good day. All praises due to Allah. The Reef Man just walked in. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. You're watching the Supremely Faded podcast, the official podcast of Supreme Style Barbers. The barbers are in the building, kind of, sort of. Trav's in the building. Trav is in the building. Who else we got? Let me look at this other camera. Who else we got over here? Oh, there's nobody there. That's all right, though. That is all right. Let's turn my mic here. Check this. Check. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let me go back over here to Trav. We're celebrating The Reef Man's in the building. Oh, like a brother Sheree. Oh, I ain't gonna give my brother some love, man. What's up, brother? What's going on? Sit in that chair right there, man. Sit in that chair right there. Get you a seat, man. Grab a seat, man. We got the Reef in the building, man.
The famous motherfucker. You gotta get it,
got brother
man.
Reef in the building, man. Oh, man.
What's up, fam?
What's going down? Hey, look, man. The Denver Nuggets are world champions. They are NBA Finals champions. The town is lit up, and they could thank the barbers at Supreme Style. They really can, cause we called it. We called it.
Come on, man.
We called it to a T. I was like, we sweep. No, I said they was gonna lose. I said they was gonna lose. They was gonna win in 5. They was gonna lose 1 in Miami.
Yeah.
Chad was like, nah, they gotta get that money game in Denver. Sharif, he said they gotta lose 1 in Denver. Vegas gotta get their bread.
Yeah. Vegas gotta get some money, man.
To a T. That's exactly what happened.
That makes up for all the losses,
man.
But you go 16-4.
16-4.
That's dominating. And now everybody's talking about how easy it was.
Right.
It's the easiest route you could have took.
It's the easiest route because you're that much better than everybody else.
7 seed, a 4 seed, an 8 seed in the championship. Come on, man. We don't care about that.
But then these other teams,
They beat the other 1 seeds. Them other 1 seeds would have showed up.
Right.
1 seeds.
Right.
I think it would have been a better series if they was playing Milwaukee Bucks.
It probably would have been a little better.
It would have been a little better.
Because your boy, they got that big man. They got Giannis.
Well, hold on. They couldn't get
wait a minute. Sharif is biased, man. He from Milwaukee, man.
They got smash 8 seeds, right?
I'm from Milwaukee. But if the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets had played this year, I would have been tilting towards them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for the reason is Milwaukee, they finally won one a couple of years.
Right.
I've seen that in my lifetime.
Right.
But from a financial aspect, I would want Denver to win because, we live here in Denver and the excitement and people buying T-shirts and hats and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I would personally benefit from that.
Right.
And so, the Milwaukee wins.
And at the end of the day, that's what we be about. Because we not getting paid when the Nuggets win the game at all. Except for that, we got some merchandise like my brother Sharif here, and we can get paid once the finals come through and it's all said and done. We're gonna make a little mint.
But
Praise be to Allah.
I got another aspect to this, bro. The whole championship and the Jokic and man, Jokic right now he's the greatest player in the NBA.
Right.
And
He don't look like it, but he is.
he don't look like it,
absolutely
but he is. He absolutely is. And I think
side talk. Yeah.
this is a win. This is kind of like a win for white America too.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's unpopular, but the whole ideal or concept of a great white hope in sports, and we got to remember, man, that all of the major sports in this country was segregated at one time.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't want to let black players play because they didn't want them going up against this idea that white athletes were superior mentally and physically. So now that you have Jokic, who was, breaking all these records,
Right.
and Wilt's record, and this person's record, and that person, the praise, the heat that white America, especially white Denver media, is showing Jokic, man, is like, it's incredible to see because of that, the whole concept of the great white hope.
Absolutely.
So we got the great white joke, which he ain't a joke.
He ain't no joke.
He ain't no joke, But I see how they juxtapose him to like the black. Oh, he's so humble. He's so this, and he's such a family man. And like we haven't had that before. You know, people hate on LeBron James, but he's a family man.
Absolutely.
He's humble,
Absolutely.
You know, a great player and all that. But they hate him, but they love Jokic.
Right.
Because they want their kids to have somebody to aspire to
Exactly.
be to. And he's their role model right now. So
hey man, you are absolutely right. And watch this. This is another thing that we've been saying. The Supreme Style Barbers, the Nuggets are your next NBA dynasty.
Right, probably.
For that exact reason.
And I'll take it. Back there, and I'll take it. I'll take the race car this time. I'll take it.
Absolutely.
I'll take it. Hey, well, we need to get for the Broncos. Well, you can have some great white oaks for the Broncos. Elway,
Right. Yeah, man. You
yeah.
had that. Now you got a great white coach
This
too.
is it. You know what? When your team wins, you don't want it to be like, oh, it's fixed. But sports is fixed.
Right.
So just be happy.
Yeah, you can bet on it. It's
happy we
fixed.
on the winning side.
Let's just keep it 100. If you could bet on it in
It's
America,
fixed.
somebody already knows the outcome.
Yeah. I'm just happy that we on the winning side of it because the winner really is Kroenke Sports. Kroenke done won 3 world championships in 4 years. He owns the Rams. They won the Super Bowl. The Avalanche won last year, and the Nuggets won this year. I wish he owned the Broncos. I'm telling you.
Right. Hey man, that's big. That's big. Wow. Let's welcome some of the people into the shop. Who's there? Mrs. Adams is watching. Denise is in the building. Yolanda, the co-hostess with the mostest, is watching. Brother Dominique is watching. Sister Shay, Salam Alaikum. Who else we got?
Shout out my boy Jamal Kears, he watching.
Who else?
Jamal Kears.
Oh man, shout outs. Y'all welcome. What's this mean for the city? What's this mean for the city ultimately, Brother Sharif?
I think a more of a spotlight, you know, in Denver. Now we got our trifecta. We got the Avalanche, the Broncos, and the Nuggets. So, you know, now the Heat is on the Rockies to do something. But,
right.
You know, I go back to David Stern, man, in the 1990s, you know, when people like Allen Iverson was coming into the league, young players like that, they was wearing braids, they was getting the tattoos, wearing the gold chains and stuff. David Stern back in the 90s, he envisioned more international players coming into the NBA.
Exactly.
To
right.
Kind of do, you know, the way that he even was quoted as saying, taking the thug element out of the NBA.
BB, what's up, baby?
But and when you look now, you know, a lot of the major stars in the NBA are international players, like Giannis, like Jokic. Even Jamal Murray, ain't he from Canada?
Yeah, he's from Canada.
So, you know, the NBA is done off the back of Michael Jordan. And if you ain't seen that movie Air yet, check that out, man, because Michael Jordan really, man, if it wasn't for him, you know, you wouldn't have these 20, 30, $40 million contracts a year. You know, because they was paying Michael Jordan and most NBA players peanuts up until, you know, the mid or late 90s, you know, and Michael Jordan really put the NBA on that international map.
Right.
You know, but, you know, we can't forget now how racism always fueled the NBA. Because I remember in the 70s, you know, NBA was standing for niggers, baboons, and apes. And they used to call it New York. Yeah. They used to call it
old school.
Yeah. They used to call it the Knicks, the Knickerbockers, and not the Knickerbockers.
Right.
And then when Larry Bird came into the Larry Bird and the Magic Johnson dynamic came in the NBA, that brought a lot of the white fans back into the NBA because they felt like it was just too black dominant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson that hyped the NBA. Then you have Michael Jordan that hyped the NBA. You know, you have LeBron and Iverson and all them that hyped the NBA. So now you got these international players that's hyping the NBA. And it's a good thing, but then it's a bad thing too, because if you look at baseball, they did the same thing in baseball. And now today, you hardly see any American-born black players in baseball. And I envision that in the future for the NBA. You know, I think the NBA is going to be, you're going to start seeing less and less black players.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. And shout outs to Michael Thompson in the building. Peace to the guy. Kevin Abney's in the building. Nichelle Tarver's in the building. Peace, Queen.
No, you can't do that. The whole thing is the international is money.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got a whole country watching the NBA.
Right.
All we did was shift the guard. When they had San Antonio, all we did was shift it. San Antonio's whole team was international. Mm-hmm. Tim Duncan, Jamaica. Tony Parker, France.
Yeah.
Manu Ginobili, Argentina.
Right.
All the dudes, when they won, all of them had their flags on.
Right.
So it was like a whole international thing. That was a stamp right there.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. International marketing.
But it's money.
That's
money.
Yeah.
The money go up. So they're not saying the money just the internet. The money in NBA like $400 million for TV stream here. What about over there?
Right.
They're making buku money over in other countries.
Yeah, but as the international players get more stature, American black players' stature is gonna go down. You're not gonna see it right now.
Man, you can't erase niggas, man. Hey, we run faster, we jump harder, we do all that.
That's true, man.
When I was coming up, you had people like Hank Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Strawberry, Ken Griffey Jr. This I could name 20,
born.
Yeah, I could name 20
baseball's different because
baseball players.
Baseball's different because it's not implemented in our community.
Yeah, it's not
basketball. See, baseball is more of an expensive sport.
Exactly.
It's way more. Trust me.
So I can see it happening in baseball, but basketball you can never, because all you need is a rim and
a ball.
And a ball.
Right.
So it'll be kind of hard to race us out of basketball.
It really is, man. And the Negro's the god of that basketball.
Yeah, baseball.
Man.
So it's been
For real.
Right. I want to tell you,
It's changing guard though.
But I want to say
definitely got some really good international players, but you just got
the white players that had a chance to make the NBA with the international trend. You know what I'm saying? As far as because the international, they coming in as shooters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're coming as they're not the athletes that they want. But
Right.
They are the shooters.
Right.
That they want.
And they have the fundamentals
Fundamentals
that
sound
you
fundamentals.
want.
That's the whole thing. Like they're bringing back the big man.
Mm-hmm.
Big man got erased. The past like 10 years, the big man been erased.
Yeah.
So it's all 3-point, rule the game. Now you come back with a full team. You got 3-point shooters, but you got this big man down there in the middle.
Right.
And he's down there in the middle. He not blocking no shots.
I love it. To your point, Trav. To your point, because the criticism was this wasn't an exciting, especially Game 5. It wasn't an exciting game. It wasn't high scoring.
It was a dog
the three ball wasn't falling. You know what I mean? But I loved it, man. Like that's real basketball to me. Where you gotta throw that thing down low, and I mean, what you guys think of that whole aspect of it?
I like it. I mean,
I like basketball.
Right.
Hey, I like pound to get out there and pound.
People are so used to the high flying acts of basketball, but when it comes to the basic fundamentals, which is what the Nuggets play,
Right.
basic fundamentals. At the end of the day, man, it's gonna win you a championship.
Right. Yeah, I dug it, man. I thought it was a straight dog fight, man. A bar fight. We just getting it on. Whoever wants it most. That's who's coming out.
Yeah.
That's who's
But
coming
you know
out.
what happened was they came out in Game 5. Miami came out with that full court press.
Mm-hmm.
And it was working for them up until about half.
Right.
And then they got tired.
You get tired.
Yeah.
That's why they don't full court press in the pros. You never
Right.
see full court press in the pros. But Miami is trying everything they could. Like,
They trying to be
he was trying to
physical.
win. Like, they're trying to
Right.
Shake the pot. Like, he
Right.
trying to get in there and win.
Yeah, I love it, but because I hate that that old Golden State style of everybody shooting threes, man. That gets on my damn nerves. No center.
But if you go back to that Phoenix-Milwaukee series, that finals, Milwaukee was down 2 games to the Suns. Milwaukee was trying to match them with 3-point.
Mm-hmm.
Once they came up out of that and got Brook Lopez and Giannis in the paint, it was over.
Right.
So Denver the same way. I mean, Jokic can shoot the 3 from
right.
the perimeter, but he's way more effective being in the
Absolutely.
paint. And when they was out getting them rebounds and working their paint, offensive rebounds and stuff like that, you can shoot all the threes you want to, man. But if you got some cats that's in that paint that can work, that's gonna win every time.
What makes Jokic so good? I mean, because he's slow as shit. Is it just basic fundamentals? He's just phenomenally advanced.
Basic fundamentals. I'm telling you, basic fundamentals. And he has footwork.
And he has.
He works with Akeem Olajuwon during the summers. His foot. Watch his feet.
Yeah, his foot.
He has a very high basketball IQ as well. He's very aware of everything that's going on the court at the time. Yeah.
People don't get that. He's under the rim and he's moving this way, that way, coming back. And if he ain't got the shot, he's gonna dish it out.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think he passed too much.
Right.
Like you got
trying to get everybody involved.
But there's always a blind side to him doing that because someone can get the ball from, which we saw in this last game where he was unaware he's looking this way and then someone's coming up from behind him.
Yeah, basic fundamentals. He brings the ball up, dude.
So look, Kevin Abney says international players go pro around 15 to 16 years old in their country. Playing grown men earlier on has an advantage, which I agree.
Like Kobe was playing grown men.
Was Kobe
international? Yeah.
He was international. And was he playing pro ball at 15?
Yeah, he was playing against grown men.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That definitely is a huge advantage anytime you get to play against some grown men.
And then the NBA, man, for the last 20, 30 years have changed the rules for international players to excel. I don't think a lot of international players could have made it like in the mid-80s.
I agree.
Mid-90s.
I agree.
The game was a totally different game. It was hard.
I agree. Hey man, the way these cats be traveling and carrying the ball, I think I could play the game now. You know what I mean? Man, my goodness. Oh man, they be traveling. I'm like, what is going on
and
here?
Everybody's carrying now.
Everybody's
carrying.
They encourage them. Tell the story, Trav.
We can't say his name, but one of our guys who played, he went to NBA tryout, and they was like, you gotta stand up a little higher, and you gotta carry more. So you controlling the narrative when you get to carry. Can't nobody take it from you.
Because every time I see these young Quaker like Jamal Murray,
they carry.
They carry.
They
carry the ball.
They're not calling it. They're not calling carry and travel. I mean, they barely call travel in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is.
They got the Euro step now.
The Euro step.
The worst thing ever.
I like the Euro step.
No.
5 steps and then a pivot and then another step and jump.
The Euro step is like for uncles playing against nephews.
That's so work though. Gives you a different angle. I like it.
No, I don't like the dance. And I don't like that.
Oh man, the Euro step. That's the
I'll take it. But I don't like it.
But I like the spotlight that they put on Denver, man. Like your son getting shine, a lot of other local artists getting shine and stuff. That was beautiful, man. It introduced them to the whole world.
Yeah, mad shine. Shout outs to my little nephew Trev Rich. We play his music in the beginning.
Album out. Isn't his album out?
No,
I don't know if it's out, but get that single, Bring It In, and you can go and find it on YouTube right now.
Bring it in.
Bring It In. It's cold single, and it's an anthem song. That's what I love about it. Bring It In. Bring it in. Bring it in.
You send me $55, I'll send you a new album.
You said $55.
$55.
$55.
These young kids like, I ain't got to pay you $55. That's crazy.
So what we looking at, y'all? Do y'all agree? Dynasty, what?
Yeah, I think we
I'm saying it right now. Because our core, we're gonna have our core for the next 4 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We only have to worry about a couple of people with Bruce Brown, which I don't want to lose, but he's replaceable.
Right.
Is that the brother that got the rebound?
Yes. Yeah. He's a killer. He's a hooper, man. I like him.
Yeah.
He's a straight
But
hooper.
he needs to get his money now because they kind of lowballed him because he was, so he's going to get paid like $7 million.
And I know,
he's worth 14, 15.
I know Bones is probably hating life right now, man.
Well, but I heard yesterday they might give Bones a ring because
What?
Yeah,
He played so many games.
he played so many
Really?
games with the Vikings, yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
might give him a
Bones
ring.
couldn't wait to
And
Really?
Monte Morris, so because
Really?
Monte won, man.
So you play a certain percentage of games during the season, you get a
or
ring.
I mean, it just depends on the organization.
Wow.
They really appreciate what Morris and
Bones brought to
did.
the table,
So
yeah.
they feel like they somewhat deserve.
That would be big. That would be big. That would be huge.
Hey, the ages. Jokic is 28.
Right.
Aaron Gordon is 27. Jamal Murray is 26. And Michael Porter Jr. is 24.
Man.
I was like, he got years to go get this thing.
Right.
Hey man, I think a big shot goes out to MPJ, bro, because even though he didn't score a whole bunch of points in Game 5, he was on the boards.
Yeah, he showed out. He showed out.
He was deficient in one area, and he pumped
Picked it up in another.
Yeah, and picked it up in another. And so that should
Those
be
threes
good.
wasn't hitting.
Well, they was dogging. I mean, I was dogging him out.
They was
because
dogging
he was
him
right
out,
up
man.
on the real mission shot.
Right.
You know what, though? I find that, man, that bothers me, man. It's the way that, for one, the Nuggets were very disrespected during the course of this whole playoff series. I mean, especially by the national commentators and whatnot. But Michael Porter Jr., dogged out, man, because he had a bad game. One game he had 2 points, which I get it. He's a professional. He should show up a little bit more than that. However, dude, everybody's a professional. You know what I mean? Like, you're not across the court from some scrubs. Miami could play ball, or else they wouldn't be there.
Right.
Like, I just find it amazing how people criticize these professional players as if they're not playing other professionals who's trying to stop them from doing what they want to do. You know what I mean?
We gotta realize Michael Porter Jr. is only 2-3 years removed out of college. He played 1 year of college, was hurt for 2 years of his NBA. So he's really young. He's really young, So.
But there again, when they pay you your max contract,
when they need that money,
they expect you to.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta show
what's
up.
going on with my boy down in Zion, man? What's going on
man.
with Zion?
You know what? I don't know.
He let these people.
He got,
He's humping, man.
He's humping. He got some girl problems.
Hey, he got money, man.
He got 100 problems.
Yeah, he got some girl problems, man.
He said he wanted to be a girl dad.
Right. He got some girl problems for real.
I mean, but man, it seems like some older cats should be schooling him, man. And a lot of these young players, man, when you get this money, these women is gonna come out.
Right.
And these women is gonna try to get clout off of you.
Right.
And come up off of you, man. And you gotta protect yourself a little bit better, man. That's what.
Right.
And see, that's what even makes this look like the Jokic, the humble, the good person, the good for basketball. When you got people like Zion and this other kid, Jay Grant.
Right.
Just doing silly stuff, man, and messing up the bag.
It's amazing. Oh, listen. The show said definitely favorites for the repeat, unless Giannis goes to Golden State. That would create a dogfight in the West. Is he thinking about one Golden State? I hope not.
We know other time.
Here last time.
She said he needs to get on that treadmill and off them girls.
The girl was crazy though.
Oh my God.
Just airing out,
everything. It's like, your fat ass.
Oh man, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Well, she messed up the bag for herself too, because ain't no other players gonna want to deal with her now.
She got a baby by Zion. Still, I mean, that's all.
So it sounds like Zion needs some guidance, right? Sound like what's his name? Ja Morant. He needs some guidance, which allows us to pivot into what we want to talk about next.
Right.
Man, tell us about your dad. We need some father's guidance, and you know, fathers, especially black fathers, are so disrespected, and you know, so unrecognized in the community. And we got to talk about dad because, you know what I'm saying, Father's Day is coming up. Before we get our pair of socks and our tie or whatever little trinket that your children may or may not give you.
You don't get a lot of father dad, man.
We got to talk about dad because we got some, you know, in Supreme Styles. You know, we're about that. We're about nationhood. We're about because we love mom. Everybody love mom. So we definitely about the divine feminine and the feminine aspect of Allah. But we also in favor of that masculine aspect of Allah because you need both in order to have what we want, which is a proper family, some beautiful children, and a beautiful nation. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we want to say shout outs to all the dads. Shout outs to all the dads who are all the fathers who are doing their thing, who are there for their children. And we want to destroy. Hey, for real talk about that, Chad. Let's talk about Pops. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So I had a talk with my biological when I got to talk to him. And I told him, I said, it's crazy because your absence still shaped me to be who I am.
Right.
So he still had his finger on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even not being there made me who I am today.
Right.
You know, fucking my kids. But I don't want my kids to feel like I felt. So that was the main thing. But I had a stepdad.
Right.
I had the greatest stepdad ever. Like, you know, kept it real, kept it 100. Always talked shit to me, always fought me.
Shout outs to Mr. Oliver.
Now,
shout outs to Mr. Davis.
It could go down, you know what I'm saying? And when you come in and you acting crazy, he always had these these philosophies. He tell you like you ego tripping.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. You're like, what is that? Like,
Stuff that stuck with you.
Yeah. Something stuck with me like through my whole life. Like, you ego tripping. Like, you ain't the only nigga out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you ain't doing like.
You need that, man.
Yeah.
You need that male guidance, male discipline. It's something. My father passed away when I was 8 years old, so I didn't get a lot of that. I had stepdads, but they wasn't, they wasn't. I had to whoop one of them. Well, he jumped on my mother.
Oh, yeah.
He gotta get whooped.
I had to protect my mother, man, but it's not like having, a dad, and then for the brothers that don't have their dads in their life, to have some type of male influence,
right,
father figure around to give you guidance, man. Like I was talking about John Morant. John Morant got a father, but I don't know what his father's telling me. You know what I'm saying? Because if my son
maybe
was
it's
in
the
that
friend
position,
father. That's his friend.
yeah, but and then the mama's doing stuff and she's calling him up and calling him out to come to the mall to whoop people. You don't do stuff like that when your son is in a position and dealing with millions, potentially billions of dollars.
Right.
You gotta have you have to lace your kids up right, man, and give them at least give them the right perspective of life, of how to deal with things, man. And that's what's lacking a lot of times that I see in these young men on the streets. you know, they got a physical father, but they don't have that mental, emotional, spiritual father.
Right.
That type of proper
That's
guidance,
big,
how to conduct
man.
themselves.
That's big, bro.
You know.
That's big. That's
They don't
big.
watch. They don't. I don't think they like watch other people's father. Like I watch Diddy's father. I watch Keno's father. Like, you know, I watch my friend's fathers,
Right.
like, how they move, how they operate. I just want to be like that. Like, I want to be laid back, just chill. Like, I don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? Just let her have it. Let her go. Let her go. Let her
And
go.
shout outs and rest in power to Mr. Robinson B. Lost his dad this year. So, man, B, tell us a little bit about your pops, man.
Well, my dad was special because he was not only my father, he was a father to all the kids on the block.
Right.
You know, just by example, in jewels that he gave us. Some of them, me and my friends talk about it today. Just little jewels my dad gave us back in the day in the garage.
Right.
While he's working on the car, you know. So, you know, it's not only about being a father, it's about being a father to those who are watching.
Right.
So, shout out to my dad.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Rest
sir.
in power. Rest in power.
Robinson.
Shout outs. Sayyid, we can't leave you out. You know what I'm saying? We gotta talk about talk about Brother Laverne Hall.
Well, my father was, he suffered a lot. He grew up in a big family in rural Texas.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, you know, they did a lot of field work. I don't know if it was, you know, generations up from, you know, the white folks from my family that my family was still on, but my father had a twin, and they would both go out to the field. His twin got very sick, and they thought that, you know, his twin was, you know, being lazy and, you know, that whole thing, but she was internally ill, was dying.
Right.
And she ended up dying. And my father never recovered from that, which drove him to addiction, which drove him to a lot of, you know, mental anguish. Never did have the tools to heal himself. And so this damaged man took on a wife who was my mother, and
Right.
he had children. So my father suffered from a lot of addiction, suffered from a lot of physical abuse, and he put a lot of physical abuse on us as a family.
Right.
But just like Trav said, you know, if your father wasn't the way he was, would I be the father that I am today?
Right.
There's this book that I just finished reading, and it's called The Obstacle is the Way, where you look at these things as an obstacle, but sometimes you gotta run to it, just kind of like really look at that thing for what it is.
Right.
And, you know, I love my dad for
Right.
who he was, you know, and that's just where it is with him, you know. Rest his soul, he passed away when I was 19 years old, and every little thought that you know, when me and my dad gonna be like this, me and my dad gonna
Right.
be like that, you know, once he get clean, once I get grown, when I get grown, I'm gonna help my dad get clean. That never happened, and I carried that all the way up until
Right.
this one. So I also had on the balance side, I had my grandfather, which
Right.
was my mom's dad, and he was like Southern fried excellence.
Right.
You know,
Man,
he was,
praise be to Allah.
stand up, he didn't take no shit. He get out of line, he put hands on a white man in a heartbeat.
Right.
You know, he was just,
Right.
I love that man to life, man. You know, and those are the fathers in my life. And you know, I pull from my grandfather, and the best part from my father I pull from. And also,
Right.
you know, I joke about this in the shop, but shoot, man. You know, the character of Furious Styles when I was a teenager, I said, that's the kind of father I'm gonna be like.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I'm gonna be like Furious Styles.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Shout out to the dads. We gotta give it. Shout out to the dads, man. Man, that's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful, and it's amazing, man. God is with us, you know, because we are the people of Allah, and so God is always with us, no matter how our upbringing is. And so, you know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he teaches us that, you know, even if your father was quote unquote bad or he wasn't shit, you still got to thank Allah for him, because without his seed, you wouldn't be here. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, my dad, man, he was my hero, of course, and he died when I was like 15 years old. And I didn't grow up, you know, in the hood. I grew up around the corner in Denver. You know what I'm saying? Green grass, and mom and daddy going to work, and dad was always there. And he got a terrible illness that ultimately took his life. But he was there long enough to really show me what it was to be a man. But right when we needed him, right when I needed him the most, that's when he got sick, and he was really fighting for his life. But being the father that he was, and I got a shot of my dad. I'm gonna pull him up. Being the father that he was, he pointed me to a person who could act as a father, as a spiritual, mental father in his absence. And that is Minister Farrakhan. So, you know, I thank my dad, Herman Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him. And, man, it's been a beautiful journey, man.
Yeah, the Afro way or Afro way?
Yeah. Hey, man, mine's is gone. But a beautiful black man. Love that brother, man. Love that brother. Miss him every day that I live, man. Every day.
You did a good job, brother, because a lot of people don't know this. Me and Brother Herm used to work at the Rural Mall.
Yes, sir.
When we were just fresh out of being teenagers.
Right.
And the way this brother dressed and conducted himself and spoke back then was supreme. Right. You know what I'm saying? Brother always been on point. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing the brother over 30 years.
Yes, sir.
We was working at the Rural Mall together. Where you working at?
I was at Baker's, and Sharif was at Mady and F.
And I was at Mady and F. We were right next to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. My sister Walletta's in the building. Good morning, Sister Walletta.
Sir. Wally said let's talk about dads too.
She did. She hit me up on Messenger and said let's talk about dads. So, you know, we gotta talk about pops and the lessons that they gave us. You know what I mean? Like Trav always got some good stories about lessons that pops taught him. Give us something, Trav, in terms of what your dad taught you.
Well, mine?
Yeah. Pick one.
My dad was like, all right, I'm gonna put it out there. My dad was Pimp of the Year in 70 and 71, something like that. But my mom wasn't no hoe. Right. So my dad used to always like give me like this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like he'd tell me like you know, the whole ego tripping, and he'd say like he had this dump truck theory, like he like, son, like, you know, when you sad, you know, dudes throw it all away when they girl go cheat or something. Right. But he like, son, okay, this is dump truck theory. Like, you got all this dirt in the back of your truck. Right. And you riding around with all this dirt. And her truck been empty all these years. And then she gonna put a little dirt in her truck and you go crazy. Right. And I was like, damn. That's crazy. And then he tell me about the basket. Like, dudes that be going crazy, killing their wives and girlfriends. He like, yeah, don't do that. He said, man, that thing is like a shopping cart. Like, women like a little coochie, like a shopping cart. I want to say the whole word, right? It's like a shopping cart. He said, when you put your stuff in there, that's yours. As soon as you take it out, anybody can grab it and put their stuff in there. It belonged to her. And I was like, just looking like, dang.
I ain't never heard these metaphors. They sound good.
That kind of backs you up for being possessive towards a woman. But he didn't want us like that. He's like, no, don't do that. Like,
that's big, man. Listen, I want to read some of the shout outs. Michelle said, I love my dad. I'm a daddy's girl for sure. And we all love your daddy. Michelle. Coach Tyler, that's our guy.
You raised a couple of us.
Tanisha says sometimes absence is a blessing in disguise. True. Good morning, Miss Alana. She's in the building. Shauna Allen said, I miss my daddy dearly. He was and remains my favorite person. Y'all all knew him. He was not to be played with. However, the lessons I have learned from watching his life are irreplaceable. Rest in power, Chopper. That's my man. Yes.
We still got videos of Chop.
Big Michael T. Robertson said, much love, Supreme Style. We'll watch the video. Great topic. My father is my confidant. My father is no longer here. He lives every day through me. Yes. Praise be to Allah. Yolanda said, my dad has been the best. Beautiful, man. Shout outs to dad. Shout out
to the dad,
beautiful.
man.
Yeah, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. What else can we take away from dad?
Man, but the absent dad.
The absent dad.
What's wrong with the absent dad, real quick?
Wrong with it. Sharif was gonna say something though, real quick.
I was just gonna say something about my father, man. My father grew up in Arkansas. He picked cotton, and in the early '50s, his whole family migrated to Milwaukee. My uncle John got a job at the American Motors car plant, and we came up like from Arkansas to Wisconsin like Mexicans, like one at a time.
Right.
You know, and my father, man, like what he instilled in me was the hustle.
Right.
My father was 13, 14 years old and had his own little shoe shine thing, and then he got like a shoe shine parlor, which he turned into a gambling shack.
Right.
You know, my father was 15,
get some real
16, yeah, driving around in a 1953 Lincoln.
Right.
My father was the principal called my grandmother and said, he don't need to be here. He got a better car. And
right.
I guess, you know, the whole hustler thing in me come from my dad, because he was just every day he got up, it was about providing for his family and doing better and trying to excel. And my father, you know, had an 8th grade education, could probably barely read or write, but, you know, he commanded respect from, you know, all kind of people. And I was able to see that in the 8 years that I got to know him. But a lot of what he put in me is still in me, even though he was absent.
Right.
Most of my life. You know, certain seeds that he put in me is still in me. And I'm trying to instill that to my kids.
Right. Yeah, man.
I think that's the, you know, the most important part, man. You might not be in, like what you said earlier, Trav, you might not be in your kids' life, but it's something that you gave them that they that makes them the man that they are.
Right.
You know?
That's big. That's big.
I'm gonna add on to that real quick. Even though, just like how you were saying, my father as well, he was an entrepreneur.
Right.
That whole entrepreneur spirit was laced.
Yes.
You know,
that's amazing.
And he fixed vacuum cleaner motors, and he co-owned a barbecue pit in Texas.
Right.
So he refused to go out and work for somebody.
Right.
Which is kind of like my mindset right now.
Right.
So I just like that's in the silver lining and all that, though. You know.
Right.
Like I said, is where I'm at today. You know?
Yes, it's amazing how all of those things are like, they really seem to be cellular. You know what I mean? Like my dad, same thing. He was an entrepreneur. He was a barber. A lot of people don't know that. He was a photographer. Both of which I have interest in. Right. You know what I'm saying? And most importantly, he was always doing something for self. Always. So that stuff it's cellular. Right. You can't get away from it.
Yeah. Right. DNA. Hey, you know something? My father stopped eating. My father died in a tragedy. He drowned. But right a year or so before he drowned, he stopped eating pork. Mm-hmm. He was like into the health thing, like trying to jog. This is back in the 70s.
Right.
You know, and I you know, before I became Muslim, I stopped eating pork.
Right.
You know, as like my dad did that, so I'm gonna stop eating pork. You know, so look, just little things like that I felt like that he did to kind of led me to Islam, you know, because he was a dude for self.
That's real, man. That's real, bro. That's real.
Yeah, and on the app,
go ahead. The absent dads.
the absent dad is really like that driving force that's inside your kid. That, or mom, you know, sometimes, well, nowadays it's the mom too that's gone.
Right.
The dad is really like that driving force, like in your son. You want to show him, I want to show him that I can make it. You know what I mean? I want him to come find me.
Right.
Like
Right.
you watch Chris Jackson,
Right.
Chris Jackson, Mahmoud story.
Right.
He played basketball so hard, he just wanted his dad to come find it.
Right.
But his mom was like, no, because the dude, he raped her.
Yeah, he raped her.
The dad had raped her and she had a kid, and she didn't want him to find him.
Or she was a prostitute. And she
Yeah, there's one of those
messed
things.
around and had a
Yeah,
baby.
she didn't want that man to find her son. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So a lot of women, like today, they kind of keep the kids away from the dads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't have it. You can't have your son type shit.
Mahmoud said that basketball became his father.
His father.
And he wanted to draw so close to that.
And then he wanted his father to really come see him.
He wanted to find his father through basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Alana said, my dad is the realest on my team. Even when I don't want to hear it, he will always give it to me straight. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but he's never steered me wrong. Hey, man, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. That's a good daddy. That's a good daddy. Shout out to Alana's daddy, whoever he is.
We be arguing. A lot of seasons you give dog, you be like, she'll threaten me. She's like, you know, I want all you to go take care of you when you get old. Remember that. Hang up on me.
Right. Yeah, man. It's
Oh yeah, she threatened me.
fathers, man, powerful demonstration, man.
You know, I used to be invited to speak at schools a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like middle schools and high schools and stuff. And these, most of them was white teachers that would allow me to come in and address their classrooms. And this white male teacher, man, I came in and spoke. You know, I would come in and ask kids what kind of music they like, and they do hip hop, and we do the hip hop thing.
Right.
And the teacher would always come up to me afterwards and like, man, they listen to you. Like, they don't listen to me.
Right.
And, like, I tell them to be
Right.
quiet, and they don't listen to me, and they don't even know you, and you come into the classroom, and you can command respect out of these young black boys, man. And I'm like, you know, even, I don't know what their parents' situation is, man, but, you know, if you have a strong black man, they know how to communicate to a black boy, and the black boy
Right.
is going to listen to them.
That's right.
You know, over a female or a white male, somebody you can't identify with.
Right.
You know, I was over by I got a store now. I don't tell y'all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over in the house, man. I'm over there with brother. Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hey, Lux in the building.
I'm over there with James Chapman over
Okay.
there at the button shop.
That's how nigga just walk right through the
So that's the real barbershop right here.
And some kids, they went to a little grocery store and bought some little donuts, candy,
Yes.
whatever, and they just they was eating it, just threw the paper on the ground. I said, hey, young brother, pick that up. They was like, and picked it up quick.
Right.
You know, and then the dude that owned the store said something to him. They like, hey, F you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't respect him. He's an East Indian guy, but they respected what I said.
Right.
So, you know, I'm feeling like even for the absent fathers out there or the kids that's coming up there without the father, the black men, we need to, if they ain't your kids, like what you said about your dad, even if they not your kids, man, we got to step up and try to give guidance and directions and pull these young kids' coat, man, because that's what's happening, man. They growing up without a father. They have mothers that are highly emotional, and I think a lot of that's transferring over to these kids because when they get angry, instead of using logic, they go to emotions. They want to pull the string.
Right.
A lot of them going over with their dad in the house, but their dad just fucking scared of them.
Yeah. See,
Their
that's
dad is
why.
there, but their dad is scared of them.
Hey, I'm like Bobby.
That's
I ain't gonna be scared.
That's whack.
You know what, Sharita, what you said though, man? I think some of my children are just pre-wired. They just waiting on us to just show up.
Yeah.
And it is.
Right.
Yeah, there is definitely a natural pecking order. You know what I'm saying? Like, like with my sons, you know what I'm saying? All my sons is bigger and stronger and taller than me, but they already know.
Right.
You know what I mean? They already know.
You put the fear in them early.
Right.
And so, as black men, like, but I think like what Brother Sharif is saying is right and exact, man. We just have to take our place. And like Travis pointing out, you can't be scared of no kids, man.
Right.
Hell no.
I want you to be fearless. I want you to be my son. I want you to be fearless, but I want you to respect me.
Exactly.
Have that respect. Even if you think you can whoop me, I know you can't whoop me.
Right.
Respect.
Exactly.
This, or I'm gonna bring you to it.
Exactly. Respect my contribution, man. Respect what I've brought to the game. Yeah, man.
Damn.
It's important that we don't bring our boys to anger either. You know, they get at a certain age where, you know, they have so much anger. And there are dads out here that will bring the young man to anger. And that's not the role to bring them to anger. You're there to cultivate them, to show them how to handle the anger, to not let the anger control them.
Right.
And so for you to bring them to anger and put their feelings at no regards, that doesn't set a good precedent.
I mean, anger is a natural emotion, especially being a black man in America.
Yeah.
You're gonna be angry at some point. But here's the thing, like, we have to, okay, the lesson is, okay, it's okay to be angry, young brother, but be able to identify what it is that you're angry about.
Don't let it be
Right.
Be able to still think and work your way, navigate your way through it. Because no doubt, man, if you black and you a black man in America, oh, you gonna be angry.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no doubt about it. You can't avoid
But it's
that.
how you control that.
Exactly.
You gotta control it. You gotta teach them how to use that mindset, just thinking through the anger that you're feeling and stuff, and realizing the consequences of that anger. You either going to be the master or it's going to master you.
Yeah.
And they got places for people that don't know how to master.
You gotta suppress it. You gotta suppress your anger.
And I think that's why it's good to get, especially young boys, into a sport, because sports teach you won't always have to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
And it pushes you, and it pushes you past your limits, where you think your limits are, but you can go way past that. And I think, you know,
I think sports, I think anything that's going to instill discipline in young men is important. You know what I'm saying? Especially young black men. You know what I'm saying? So sports, if it's martial arts, join the junior FOI. I'm going to put that out there. You know what I mean? Because we're going to teach you how to be a man, which is ultimately what we all need. Because many of us running around here, we grown, but we not men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because we've never been properly taught and trained how to be a man. That's one of the things that was robbed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got a lot of work to do. But, you know, we got the room to do it right here.
I give a shout out to my cousin Steve, man. He lost his son on his birthday.
Shout out to cousin Steve,
This
man.
Father's Day is gonna be tough.
Man, it's tough. We're praying for that brother, man.
We having a candlelight vigil right here on Colfax in Quebec, where he got hit on his motorcycle.
On his motorcycle, yes, sir.
So,
Okay. When is that taking place?
tonight at 6.
Tonight at 6.
Yeah, shout out to
Colfax
Steve.
in Quebec.
OG cousin.
Candlelight vigil for Lil Steve, man. Man, shout out. Rest in power. Man.
You know, as
Sad.
we talk about how to instill that stability in our young men, our older men, our grown men, they need it as well. They need it as well because, you know, your story is not your story. It's not your story to keep. Your story is for that younger man that is coming up. So it's not that he might be going through it right then and there, but it is definitely that at some point or another, he's going to have to reach in his toolbox and grab that and say, hey, I know that. But us as older men, we have to talk to one another because we go through some stuff, and we don't want to talk about it.
Right.
We don't want to cry
Real
and stuff
talk.
like that, and then that builds us up, that anger and stuff.
We gotta learn how to emote. We gotta learn how to emote. And let me get some shout outs to we run up on time. To Jay Barnes. I gotta give a shout out to Brother Jeff. Brother Jeff's in the building. Praise be to Allah. Shout outs to everybody in the chat room. One more thing, Brother Sharif, go ahead and we'll wrap it up.
I always hear, man, men are supposed to cry and this and that, and that all of us do. But you know, it seems like when you're a black man, particularly, and you cry, somebody make a meme out of it.
Right.
Somebody take your name and make a joke out of it. And I've actually, you know, had other male friends who I've confided in stuff, you know, and at the time they was cool, and then, you know, after everything boiled up, like, nigga, remember you was crying about that?
Listen, the rule is you can cry, just cry in the shower.
Cry in the shower. Cry in the shower. She walk in like, oh, you can't tell.
Right.
Hey, word is bond. Man, look, we get to talking about stuff in this corner. Somebody's child, something happened to a man, I get tearing up.
Right.
Man, I look over man and Brian crying, big crying, cutting it. I'll be like,
right.
But look, this is where we at though, man. Look.
Hey man, you gotta learn how to emote. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you gotta learn how to emote, and that's real. You gotta learn how to process those feelings.
Because if you don't let the feelings out, they manifest in other destructive ways.
Absolutely. Man, we can do this all day. But we ran up on time. Hey man, what y'all got to sell? Anything?
You didn't need to cut of the week.
We didn't do none of that.
Hey, we selling tickets to the parade. We selling tickets to the parade.
Come on for the parade on Thursday. Get on down here at Supreme Style and get your ticket for $20.
What you got to sell, Sweet? What you got to sell?
Hey, if y'all need some Nuggets Championship t-shirts, come see me up on 33rd and in between Hudson and Holly. I'm right next to the the old Nan's Junior's grocery store right there.
You got anything with you right now?
Yeah, I got a couple of t-shirts.
I need a medium.
I got a medium.
That's what I need. I need a championship medium nugget shirt.
What you got?
Just service.
Just service.
Security service.
Security services.
Yes.
We selling haircuts.
Yeah, we selling haircuts. We're gonna make sure that where's my don't come in here without an appointment. astar2.com. And get your Supreme Style gear as well at that site. Let's not forget the prayer vigil for Trav's cousin, Lil Steve, tonight, 6 p.m. Colfax in Quebec. Listen, this Father's Day, because it is Father's Day on Sunday. And Juneteenth. Go down to the points. Try and beat the whites, because the whites have been down there real thick. You don't know who the whites are?
They have white Juneteenth celebrations.
You don't know who the whites are?
I don't know who the
whites are.
The whites are the white people who now occupy the 5 points. They did. They had a white jazz festival. I saw it on Facebook. I said, "What is that?" I'm like, "Is that Cherry Creek or something?"
That's a real.
That's
5 points.
It's Rhino now.
The Rhino District.
That is a real word.
We need to do a
That is a real
Right.
word.
I got my flyer up because it's Father's Day, man. We're going to come in here, the divine teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, 4651 Tulsa Court, where your little brother will be sharing a special Father's Day message. Shout out to Dad. We're going to keep this going. So 10 a.m. on Sunday, if you can make it, we'd love to have you. Listen, we're going to get out of here. It's been a blast, man. This has been a very powerful and productive conversation. Thanks to our brother Sharif, for coming through. The Reef is in the building. Lucky's in the building.
Didn't even know.
Brother Dave's in the building. Man, beautiful thing, man. We're going to catch y'all on the next one. Until then, stay black, stay strong. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for absolutely anything. Don't do it. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you for watching. But we need for you to take some action and do us 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more favors. And that is, go ahead and smash that like button. Share it if you really dig the video. And also subscribe. That way you'll get a bell ding, a notification every time we post something. And it also helps us with regards to the algorithm that, you know, your people like to run. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. Peace, everybody. It's your brother Herman Supreme Style Muhammad. Just wanted to drop in and let you know what we have going on. In addition to our community work that we've been doing for years, and in addition to being the sole proprietor of Supreme Style Barbershop, where we've been serving the community for close to 25 years, now we've partnered up with an insurance company called Ethos in an effort to help our people with life insurance. That's something that we all need. I know it's something that we don't want to think about, but it is something that we all need if we want to leave anything to our loved ones when we leave this space. So do me a favor, click on the link or go to our website astar2.com and click on the Ethos page. We'll see you on the other side.